Considering most data is now completely digital, many computer users now use portable hard drives as a means of storage. For those who need more portability, we have these USB flash drives. The issue with the hard drives is the physical size, while the only main issue with the USB drives is the limited storage capacities. So ideally we want a mix in between both for a true solution. Kingston look to have solved this issue and claim they have created the world's first, largest and fastest USB flash drive. Welcome to IFTI's Tech Corner, where today we're taking a look at the Kingston HyperX Predator. Kingston has grown to be the world's largest independent manufacturer of memory products. Their premium line of products is tagged with the brand HyperX, and the products in this range are specifically designed with high performance in mind for those who really demand the very best from their computing components. The range includes high-performance RAM as well as high-performance drives such as this HyperX 3K SSD, which turned out to be a great performer in a previous review. Kingston has now extended their HyperX range even further with the Data Traveler HyperX Predator USB 3 flash drive. Now this is the world's largest capacity USB 3 flash drive, as it will be available in a 1TB capacity very soon. That's pretty astounding considering its size. The HyperX Predator drive is compliant with next generation USB 3 specifications and is optimized for newer PCs and laptops with USB 3 ports. Users who work with large video or graphics files, or gamers who like to travel with their entire library, will appreciate the drive's speed and capacity. It is also backwards compatible with USB 2 for efficient data transfer rates. Now this is the fastest USB 3 flash drive in the Kingston family, with claimed speeds of up to 240 MB per second read and 160 MB per second write. It has also achieved Super Speed USB 3 certification. Now that's a pretty bold achievement there, and one we'll test very shortly, considering manufacturer stated speeds are usually gained from testing in controlled conditions. Bear in mind the drive is also backed by the fantastic 5-year warranty, free technical support and the legendary Kingston reliability. Although Kingston will shortly begin supplying a 1TB version, the drive is already shipping in the 512GB capacity, which is what I have my hands on here. One thing I've noticed with Kingston's HyperX range is that the item always comes in a very well presented package. It really does ooze a premium quality feel, something we also saw in the fantastic HyperX 3K SSD package. And I have to say, this is no exception. We get a really well presented tin, which reminds us of the type of performance the drive is capable of. There aren't many other USB flash drives that come in a handy tin, but then again there aren't many drives that cost as much as this little monster. Now let's get stuck in and see what's inside the package. Inside the retail packaging is a very nice accessory bundle and of course the drive itself. The HyperX keychain here is very nice and looks like something you'd actually be able to use rather than just throw away. It's also something that you can use to keep the drive itself secure. Considering its cost, you really don't want to lose this thing. The included USB 3 extension cable might be odd to include, but since the USB drive is pretty thick, it can't fit in really tight USB port locations, and you have to use this extension. Kingston really thought this bundle through, and it included everything you'd actually need to properly use this device. The HyperX Predator drive has a zinc alloy metal casing that measures in at 72 by 27 by 21 mm, which is a fair bit thicker than standard USB flash drives, although standard drives don't go up to 1TB in size. It's not small enough to easily lose, but it's not large enough to be a burden to transport. With the added benefit of the zinc metal alloy, aside from the superior quality and finish, is the great shock resistance of the high-end design. The quality and finish of the product, backed by the award-winning Kingston memory contained within, really does put the user at ease knowing their data is safe and secure. The design itself is not only functional and secure, but the lack of a USB cap means that you have no parts to lose. Now the drive housing has these two silver aluminium blocks at each end, with one that slides to unveil the USB 3 port on one end of the drive. Now the black middle section is made from plastic and contains all of the components that make this drive work. This side of the drive has the Kingston company name and product banding. The other sides are all blank. Kingston also placed a blue LED activity light on the branded side of the drive for you to see when it's in use. When the drive is idle, the light is not on, which is nice for those that leave the USB drive plugged in. Finally, we have this custom metal keyring attachment that has been crimped onto a steel loop that goes into the side of the body of the drive, which can be used to attach the included keychain. With the high price you pay for this top performing drive, you really don't want to let it out of your sight. Now I'm using my MacBook Pro. This is the 2012 model I have here, and upon plugging the drive into my test machine, on first use we find the drive is completely empty and formatted as FAT32, ready for use. Formatting in FAT32 also means the drive is compatible with both the Windows and Mac platforms straight out of the box. We'll start with a couple of disk speed tests. My first test was with CrystalDiskMark on the Windows platform. As we can see here, the results showed that the drive was hitting 296 megabytes per second read and 183 megabytes per second write on the sequential test. Not bad considering that the drive is rated at 240 meg read and 160 meg write by Kingston themselves. For the second speed test, I'm going to directly compare it against a hard disk drive just to give you an idea of how much faster the HyperX Predator is against a standard external hard drive. The hard drive itself is within a USB 3 enclosure just to keep things fair, so both units being tested are using the same interface on the same system running the same software. For this, I'm using Blackmagic Disk Speed Test, which tests the speed by writing and then reading large blocks of data while measuring the speeds at which this can be achieved. The test on the top is the hard drive, while the test below is the Kingston HyperX Predator. The results speak for themselves. The HyperX Predator drive is a much better performer than a typical external hard drive. Remember, we were using the same connection interface on both devices. Bear in mind though that maximum speeds can depend upon your system, the software and the data being copied across, so the speeds that you will achieve will vary depending upon these factors. Nevertheless, we can see already that we get pretty impressive speeds in comparison with a standard hard disk, and I'm very close to, if not exceeding, Kingston's stated drive speeds. I for one am not disappointed with the results so far. With the speed tests out of the way, let's do some standard file copy tests, bearing in mind that this is what standard end users are probably going to be doing. Let's copy a couple of files across to the drives to judge the performance gap here. The first copy test is this 2 GB folder, which contains many smaller files, which I'm copying across now to see how the drives perform. Again, the HyperX Predator fares very well overall. Finally, I'm doing the same copy test again, but this time I'm moving a full HD movie about 3 GB in size. Again, I'm actually really impressed with the speed of this drive. It's really very easy to forget that you're dealing with a small USB flash drive here. It feels more like I'm working with an SSD. So what are my thoughts on this Kingston HyperX Predator USB 3 flash drive? Well, honestly, I'm seriously impressed. The need and functionality of USB flash drives have not changed over the past few years, but the capacities and speeds that are available keep increasing every year. When it comes to performance, Kingston says this drive has 240 megabytes per second read and 160 megabytes per second write speeds when used on a USB 3 port. And to be honest, it's been exceptional for a USB flash drive, and the transfer speeds really make you forget that you're working with an external device. More importantly, you would have no issues editing a full HD movie, for example, directly from the drive without any performance lag, and if you consider the speed demands HD video editing takes, that's really saying something. Now, if you're looking for tons of storage space, the Data Traveler HyperX Predator 512GB or 1TB drives should have plenty of room and are pretty darn fast thanks to that super speed USB 3 interface. The only real downside to a drive this large is the price tag. At $800 plus shipping on Amazon, this drive isn't going to be for the average home user, but rather enthusiasts and business users that have a real need for such a device. The device is well constructed and it feels good when in your hand. My only complaint with the drive is that it shows fingerprints, but that shouldn't be a deal breaker. If something should ever go wrong with this drive, it's backed by a 5-year warranty along with Kingston's tech support, where you can quickly get help if you ever need it. Right now there are no other 512 gig USB flash drives on the market, so if you need a drive with this much capacity, this one is easily recommended. Feel free to leave a comment below. Please feel free to like this video, it really does help me out. Don't forget to subscribe though, as you'll automatically be entered into my 2013 monthly giveaway. Click the logo above for more details. See you soon on IFTY's Tech Corner.